Welcome everybody to Social Cafe, and tonight we are featuring the company ViralTag, and we have Sudheer. Sudheer, I'll let you, just like before, I'll let you say your last name. Welcome, Sudheer.
Yep. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks for having me. My last name is Someshwara.
I think it might take me just a couple of years to get that right, but definitely your name, your first name, Sudheer, you've been on my mind, so I've been working on.
Sure. Yeah. It probably takes a couple of years for you to get my last name. It's quite complicated as well. Yeah.
But you're easy to find on Google. That's really helpful because my name's Deborah Anderson. If you look me up, there's a musician, Deborah Anderson, you can't find me.
I know. I mean, there's probably one of the most unique names you could probably get basically. Yeah.
That's excellent. You don't want to hear me talk about utility companies that have actually, because my husband's name is Mike, which is another common name, Mike Anderson, and utility companies have really messed it up and given us other people's bills because they have the same name. So yeah, be really thankful that you have a unique name.
Sure, definitely.
So tonight we were chatting in our little warm-up Twitter chat there, and it seems like people are really excited to hear more about ViralTag. So this is an excellent opportunity for you to tell us firsthand. And one of the things that seemed like it was a theme, I don't know if you noticed this too, Sudheer, as far as the content and ideas for content. Granted, that's kind of the way the questions were leading as well, but do you want to start by even telling us about ViralTag and content suggestion? I know we talked about this before on the Web Tools TV interview, but definitely you are the man as far as explaining how that works within ViralTag.
Sure, yeah, definitely. So on a very high level, ViralTag is the social media marketing platform specifically focused on visual content. So we help users find engaging visual content and also help them share it on multiple social networks. So I mean, yeah, just looking at the Twitter chat, one thing that we found in common is users having difficulty coming up with good visuals for their social media. So on ViralTag, we have this feature called suggested content where we gather interesting, where we actually process thousands of feeds and gather interesting content for each users based on 7 or 8 categories that we have on our platform. So it's a great way for somebody who doesn't really have a lot of original content to go in there and pick some interesting content and post on the social networks just to get more engagement from your followers, basically.
Now, does that work cross? So, for example, let's say the suggested content is maybe a pin or something. Can I look at that and say, hey, I really like that, I want to tweet it? Can it go cross-platform within the tool?
Yeah, exactly. It can go cross-platform as long as the attribution is properly maintained. So if you're tweeting a pin from, say, H&M.com, so as long as the tweet is linking back to H&M, so as long as the attribution is back, so it's still fine. Yeah.
Okay, is that something that ViralTag will actually check to make sure that you're composing it properly?
Exactly. So we don't allow users to change the URLs, mainly to make sure that we don't have the copyright issues or the attribution issues or anything of that sort.
Okay, so that way people aren't hijacking other people's content knowingly or unknowingly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and now how does that work as far as, because I view you as a Pinterest expert too, because that's how I came to know ViralTag, is looking for a Pinterest tool. And now with Pinterest, unless you're going to pin the same image on different boards, that's one of those pin it once if you're talking about one board. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's right. So so you mean when users are pinning the same image to multiple boards, or?
I'm trying to think of overall kind of a bird's eye. I'm sorry, I'm not composing the question very well here, but as far as an overview of all the platforms, I log into ViralTag and I want to use this picture of this cat. I can use it maybe once per board, although I probably don't want to pin it to 20 boards all at once. But then I can reuse it. For example, Twitter, you could send out the same image every day.
Exactly. So even on Pinterest, so most of our users are part of group boards. So in this particular scenario, what could happen is you could post the same cat picture among say animal lovers or cat lovers. So that there could be different group boards where you can post the same picture too, basically. So that way you still have the same feature that you're talking about on Twitter, wherein you can post the same image to multiple boards or at multiple times, basically.
So really, if you want to maximize even the use of ViralTag, you really want to go join a bunch of group boards that relate. So when you have one piece of content, you've got several places to put it.
Sure, definitely. So our users have been seeing a lot of engagement and a lot of reach by being part of group boards and actively posting on group boards as well as their original boards, basically.
Excellent. And now, what platforms do you have? You have Twitter, you have Pinterest.
So right now we have Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And
Excellent.
we're looking to release Instagram in next couple of weeks. So
Wow.
that'll be exciting. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Now, I don't know, are there a lot of platforms, and maybe it's just because I don't post enough to Tumblr. I mean, I do, but it's not as much as like Pinterest and some of the others. Are you one of the few platforms that cover Tumblr?
Yeah, exactly. So right now there are not so many platforms doing Tumblr. So they're like, I mean, Tumblr themselves have like a scheduling tool, like the way Facebook has its own native scheduler. So most of the users schedule directly on Tumblr, but at the same time, it makes sense to manage everything at one single place. Like say your use case about having a cat picture and the ability to post to multiple social networks and one single go. So that's actually like a good thing on a platform wherein they can connect Tumblr and might as well post to Tumblr as well.
That makes sense. I can see where it's a lot easier if you're already logged into one day. I mean, right now I'm using if this, then that. And I'll post something and then have it trigger another one to post it somewhere else. But it makes a lot of sense to just go one place, ViralTag, and just post it everywhere.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are there plans after you add Instagram to keep like going after other platforms, or is there a certain point where it's like, okay, we've arrived?
So I guess another big platform that we are missing right now is Google Plus. So that's definitely the next biggest thing that we'd be adding. So after that, like one thing that we're doing right now is looking at our current user base, trying to see what types of users are using our platform. So we figured out there are a lot of e-commerce stores, there's a lot of bloggers and food bloggers, etc. So it makes sense for us to like go after integrating Yumly for food bloggers, or things like Fancy or Vanilla for e-commerce stores, or Shopify, Etsy, and kind of like trying to figure out like where our users are most, and then integrating those platforms as we
I
go on in
mean,
the future. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, as far as strategy, that makes a lot of sense on a business strategy rather than just adding what's popular, what's mentioned on Mashable. No offense, Mashable. Um, so, you must have, and I know we talked about this before as far as the analytics. It seems like you're really ahead of the game on the analytics, and that's probably what also does that help you, find out where your users are coming from and what they like.
So we're actually looking at our user. I mean, we use a bunch of tools internally. Some tools like Intercom, Mixpanel. So we look at your users, who they are, like what their websites are, what are the different social profiles, and even looking at the social profiles, we can gather a lot of information on what categories are they posting to, where are they most engaged. So using that as an internal analytics tool to kind of like guide our decisions in the product. So that's also something that we're planning to expose in like near future to the users themselves, like telling them, I mean, giving them more analytics about their followers and what kind of followers do they have, and what should they be posting more to, like more of like an analytics and also insights platform, so where they can actually get some insights saying you have 80% of the users are females, so probably try to do something more specific to females, or like maybe 80% of users are animal lovers, so post more cat pictures, things like that, basically.
Now they have some of the analytics right now, but you're saying that it's going to improve over time.
Exactly. So our analytics right now is more of, I would say, reporting. It just tells you what's happening. So we could be much smarter over there, like trying to give them actual insights or actionable insights that they can take it and start like making actionable items out of it, basically.
And it sounds like, I mean, that would be a challenge because you have different platforms. It's not like if you were just a Pinterest tool, I mean, someone could technically look at Pinterest analytics, but that must be a little bit challenging as far as having all of the platforms represented, or do you break them down into separate reports?
Exactly. It's going to be very challenging. I mean, the way Hootsuite does right now is they have a report for every platform. So which seems to work. At the same time, there's not so much of like cross-platform analytics that any user can directly get access to. So it's a really big challenge on the engineering side. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's taking so long for us. And probably in next 3 or 4 months, we're looking to build something like a cross-platform analytics tool. Yeah.
I think the only company that and I don't know if it's completely cross-platform or if they're just pulling all the information in one spot, but I think don't they do something that's somewhat integrative? So you're going to do something like that, but built into ViralTag.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll be building something like Samal. Yeah.
Excellent. So what other, now you have the content suggestion, and that's, do you actually, like when you log in, and maybe you should just take like a moment and maybe show us how the content suggestion works. Would you like to share that?
Sure, definitely, yeah. So when the user logs in, so we have a tab called we have a discovery tab, so which is basically our content suggestions platform. So here you could see we support like bunch of categories like food, fashion, fun and humor, all the way to kids and quotes and stuff. So users can users can like browse through this, find interesting content. If they find any content that they want to post, they can just click on any image, and you could see that we show all the social networks that they've connected to. They can just quickly select like the networks that they want to post to. In case of Pinterest, they can select like multiple boards. So if the same image is like applicable for like a couple of boards, like in this case, it's applicable for food and also for recipes. So I could post to multiple Pinterest boards as we just discussed before.
Now, can you do that all at once? Can you select all the boards at once, or do you have to go into it separately?
Yeah, right now you have to go into it separately and select each one at once.
Okay. But at least you can, I mean, I can see now how you can go cross-platform, where you can pick an image and then move it like to Facebook or wherever you want to post it.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, if you posted that to Facebook, that would be a link back to the Pinterest board then, right? Where the pin exists.
Exactly.
Or,
that would be the link back to the Pinterest board in this case.
okay, so if somebody, like if there's a recipe, then if somebody wants a recipe, what they're seeing it on Facebook and then they're clicking on the link, they're going over to the Pinterest board, the pin, and then they can click on that one to actually go to the recipe where they can actually make the food.
Yeah, this is in this scenario, it seems more like a roundabout thing. So, but if you're posting a pin which is actually linking back to a real website, then in that case, from Facebook, if you click on it, you directly go to the recipe board, basically.
But the advantage is you've got all the content there in the content suggestion.
Exactly. This is definitely like a great tool for brands without a lot of original visual content. So it's a great way for them to build out, find interesting content around their industry and generate, kind of like build their following based on this content.
Excellent. Hey, Sudheer, before we forget, I want you to be able to announce like what the giveaway, we're going to do a giveaway on June 9th on our Twitter party. For all our vendors are, giving, many of them are giving a free month or something. So why don't you tell us the winner of the ViralTag giveaway, what will they win?
Sure, definitely. So we're definitely excited to be part of the giveaway as well. So we are giving away 3 months of service for ViralTag.
Excellent, excellent. And that's the now you have different packages, right? Different memberships or subscriptions.
So yeah, we're looking to do the pro subscription for 3 months. That's like a $29 per month plan.
And that's how many Pinterest boards or accounts?
So that allows 10 profiles for under that plan. So it could be a combination of Pinterest, Facebook, or it could be 10 Pinterest accounts. So it just depends on how many accounts the user wants to add.
Wow, that's a lot. 10 Pinterest accounts is, although I think I have like 5, but that's a lot of Pinterest accounts.
Yeah, 5 is a lot even for an individual users. Like on average, our users have around 2 to 3 at the most. And they're like on extreme cases, they're agencies and social media managers managing on behalf of clients with more than 15, 20 Pinterest accounts.
Right, that makes sense. So you have like a your pro plan is for the agencies, and then you have a plan that's less for like the blogger or the one person shop.
Exactly. So that's something that we just recently announced. Like we announced like a blogger plan, which is more of like a small person shop with just like one account of each network, like one Pinterest, one Facebook, one Twitter, Tumblr. So that plan goes for $12 per month, and if users pay annually, it comes to around like $9.99 per month. It's very competitive compared to like Buffer or Hootsuite or any other platforms out there.
That's a really good price. I do remember though when ViralTag was $4.99. I liked I like that.
Exactly.
Price.
Yeah, that was long time ago.
Yes. That tells you how long ago, how far back I go. But that was also, I think it was one account. It was right after you'd is it Pingraphy? Is that what the former name?
Yeah, that's right. So when we started out, we were called Pingraphy, and we were completely focused on Pinterest at that point of time. So yeah, it was Pingraphy, and we only had like support for one account and like a very limited number of pins. You can only post like 100 pins or something. But slowly we figured out, like, by limiting the number of pins, we are not actually giving value to the users, because at least on platforms like Pinterest, the more you post, I mean, of course, I mean, there's a limit to everything, but the more you post, the more engagement you get. So on an average, we've seen, like, our most active users post 10 to 15 images a day. So 100 was like very limited, and they weren't seeing the ROI using our platform. So we decided might as well like make it unlimited and then keep the price at like $12 a month.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Do you mind showing us? I like the scheduling process. Do you mind showing how to schedule a pin?
Sure, definitely. So there are like bunch of ways users can schedule a pin from our platform. Like, one is they could drag and drop images directly from their computer, or they can connect their Instagram account or Facebook account and pull images from there.
What about
So
Dropbox? Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, Dropbox as well. So you could connect your Dropbox account and get all your images there and post it directly to ViralTag. So in this case, let me just select a couple of things here. So one other cool feature that most of our users have been using is like this bulk upload feature, where you have like, I mean, so especially for a lot of bloggers, you have like a lot of images on your website. So you could use a bookmarker to pick all the images in one single go, and then upload all of them to multiple social networks in like a single, not in single click, in few clicks basically. So in here, I can say I want these images to go to Twitter, Tumblr, and maybe like one of the boards in Facebook. So I can select all of them at once and just set a starting time and interval between different pins, and I can schedule all of them at like one single go. So in this case, it's great if you want to schedule like say 100 images and make it go or like next 1 or 2 weeks. So you could do everything in like 5 or 6 minutes and save uh, almost like 10-15 hours scheduling all these images.
That makes sense, because then it spaces it out as far as whatever increment you have set there. Then it'll take the 100 images and space it out for you.
Exactly. So you could set an increment of like every 1 hour or every one day or something of that sort, and it just spells it out here.
So I think if I remember correctly, when you're talking about all of the images on a page, so for example, if I had a photo album or something that shows 100 pages, or wanted to set up a gallery, I could just use ViralTag tool from that page, and then they'll all show up, or I just go through and I can check them all with the tool. And then that's how we get into the uploader. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So that's another way of pinning another way of posting images. So that would be, let's say, let me just pick a blog here. So there's a blog with a bunch of images. So I mean, for a typical user, like going through each of this image and clicking on pin it would be like very time consuming.
Oh yeah.
They could use a bookmarklet, just click on it, and I mean, if you want to select all the images, you could just say select all, or you could specifically select the images that you want to post. Like in this case, I just want to pick few images and click next. We'll go back to the same screen. I don't know if you're able to see the screen.
I do now. Before that, we couldn't. But if I stop talking, we can probably see better.
No, I mean, it's actually opens up in a different window, so you're probably not able to see it because the Hangout doesn't allow like the new pop-ups. So yeah, in this case, you can select like multiple images, and we'd go back to the same screen that we came back from before. And yeah, they can just space out all these images to multiple networks at one single go, basically.
Excellent. Well, cool. Hey, Sudheer, can we see you again?
Sure, definitely.
So any tips that you want to share with our social cafe community?
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of the biggest thing that we found from our users is, I mean, always follow like the 80-20 rule. So I mean, 80% of the times post interesting content related to your industry, and only promote yourself like say 20% of the time. So that actually works out really well, because 80% of your content is actually fetching you new followers, and 20% of your content is actually helping you drive more traffic to your website. So having that sort of balance is very important to have like a really good social media strategy in long run. And I mean, yeah, another big tip is always create like engaging visuals, like using tools like Canva or Pictochart, like creating infographics out of your content. and using that on Twitter is definitely very, very useful. I mean, even right now, if you see, not many marketers have adopted like visual strategy yet. So on Twitter, you could see like it's mostly like text-based tweets, and it just like, even if you post like one single, I mean, even if you start posting images onto Twitter, it kind of like pops out, and you get like more eyeballs and more traffic and more clicks, basically. So it's probably the right time to start using images before it gets too crowded, even on Twitter and other platforms as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes. I've heard a lot of people say that too, where it's surprising. You would think that there'd be more images, but it hasn't quite hit that saturation level on Twitter.
Exactly. So you can still like get a lot of good results by posting images on Twitter.
And you can use ViralTag to do it, guys. So you need to like sign up for ViralTag.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point.
Now you have is it 2-week trial or is it?
Yeah,
Is
we
there
have
like
a 14-day trial right now.
Okay. So anyone watching this, you guys can go over to viraltag.com and sign up for your 14-day trial. And now you can try out visuals and even get inspiration as far as what to create and use Canva to create it. And now I'm advertising for you, Sudheer, and go over there and try it for 14 days on all the different platforms. There you go. Hey, thanks, Sudheer, for joining us and for telling us a little bit about, I didn't put you on the spot as much as I did in the last interview. So any of you guys that want to know more about Sudheer, you'll have to check out webtoolstv.com and watch the other interview. But thank you for giving us some really, I was going to say intense, direct tips that relate to the tool ViralTag and telling us about ViralTag. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Deborah. Nice being here. Yeah.
Definitely. And thanks all of you for tuning in for Social Cafe, another interactive web event. And we'll be here at the same time, same place next week. Thank you.